Hey, this is Orange One here. Just going to be showing off a little bit of Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. And so I want to show off one of my old saves and then also start a new save to show off some of the gameplay as well. But to start us off, I wanted to introduce you to Jesus. This is a game that's in development, so it does get updated very regularly, and I just updated it today. This is a game that I've actually been playing for over a year and a half, and I hadn't updated it during the whole time that I've been playing it, but I wanted to update it because I've seen that they've added a few new things that I wanted to explore myself. But this is Jesus, so I'm going to show you his stats. He's very strong, pretty dexterous, smart, and got decent perception. There's a lot of information in this game. It can be a little bit overwhelming at first, so I won't go into a lot of this, but you can see that he's pretty good with rifles and driving mechanics, as well as cooking and melee, and he's okay at some other things as well. He's heavily mutated because in this game you can mutate your character quite a bit. And he's actually also currently using Niten Ichirayu, which is a style of using a katana, and this is also a part of using that melee style, and he is listening to music. So I wanted to first show you off some of the items that he's got on him. So right now, if you look, I'm the guy with the sword in the center right here, and then I have my best friend in the apocalypse, Carlo Bower, here. So my character has a lot of things in his inventory currently, but he's wielding a katana. He's got quite a few tools on him, and I usually have V8 with this character. They eat probably more healthy food than I do actually in the real world, and they got a couple medical things just in case they need it. But here are the really fun things. I can put away my katana in its scabbard. I can also get out my pneumatic bolt rifle, which is a very awesome thing. This is probably one of my favorite weapons in the whole game. So I'll show that off in a little bit. And I can put that away, and I can get out my Scar rifle, which is kind of like my backup weapon if I run out of bolts for my pneumatic rifle. This is a very, very accurate gun that has 140 rounds in its magazine. I did modify it so that it's got a magazine, and it's also modified to have quite a few attachments on it. So it's one of the best guns in the game, and it's modified an absolute ton to just be that much better. And I recently with this character also got, where is it? I got also a laser pistol. So I've got a little laser pistol as well that I can use, which to be honest I was a little underwhelmed by. So I'm gonna put away my laser pistol, get out my katana, and hopefully get to show you some combat. This right here is my Humvee, which has been heavily modified and heavily reinforced. It's got an absolute ton of batteries in it, a ton of power. It's solar powered mostly, but I also do have a mini reactor, so I can recharge my batteries using nuclear power in this vehicle, and I do have a mounted laser rifle that I recently got as well. I also do have a diesel engine in there that I need to use, but I almost never have it on, because since I got this mini reactor, that diesel engine is not really necessary. Anyways, let's see if I can find some zombies just to show this off. It looks like there's some up to my north, so I'm gonna just drive up to them. I'm not gonna go through all the controls because it's a little bit complicated, but should be, there we go. This guy's a boomer, so they will explode if they get too close. So I'll just use this as an opportunity to show off my oh, actually no, that was my laser rifle on my car. But got that one. Let's see if we can find something else. It's about 9 o'clock at night, so it's getting pretty dark, so I might actually have to go to bed soon in game. It's a jackrabbit. I just saw. But it looks like there's some zombies that are further north, so I'm gonna actually go towards the zombies. Usually that's not good advice in this game, but at this point, this character is pretty invincible. I'm gonna actually disable my rifle. So let's see, I can go down. Let's see. So I'm gonna set it to the manual firing, and I believe that should stop it from just blasting everything that I come across. Here we go, some zombies. Looks like a decent number too, so you'll probably get to see Carlo doing what he does best. He's also got a pneumatic rifle that's pretty modified. Let's see, right here we have a hungry zombie and a screecher, so I'll let Carlo take care of the hungry let's see. Carlo's closer, yeah, he should take some shots at the hungry zombie. So I've got my katana, he's got his pneumatic rifle. I'm gonna just go ahead and get my pneumatic rifle out as well, because we do have a spitter here that can shoot, or can spit acid at you, so there we go, he just spat acid at me, but I'm gonna take a shot at him. You can see that's a pretty good rifle. That was only 2 bolts, and I have a whole quiver as well. I've got, well, not actually all the way full. I've got 14 bolts in there, about 20, so I've got quite a few left. Oh, this is actually a new zombie. I haven't seen that one before, so I guess since I updated, they added a few more. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out my Scar rifle just to show you that as well. Usually I wouldn't do this this close to night because it will make quite a bit of sound, but just to demonstrate how powerful this rifle is, there we go. I'm as steady as I can be. I'm pretty likely to get a headshot. Most likely it'll be at least just a good hit, but I might get a headshot. So yeah, took him out with 1 shot, did 81 damage. Gotta just wait a couple turns, get my aim back up. That one didn't die straight away from that, but they're pretty badly hurt. I bet Carlo takes them out in just a second. Oh, he actually was aiming at this one quite a bit. Oh, zombie mangler, they're pretty hard to hit. So that rifle is pretty good, but it does have recoil on it, so it's starting to get actually quite a lot harder to hit them. So at this point, I'm just going to show you how good this character is with the katana. They're pretty good with the katana. It's kind of crazy. That one's down 1 hit. Did about as much damage as I was doing with the guns. That actually did even more damage than I was doing with the guns. I don't want to hit that corrosive zombie because they're drops in acid if I do that, so I'm going to actually get my pneumatic rifle out. Luckily Carlo's right there, so they actually shouldn't get closer to me. So I'm just going to hit a little bit, take a shot. So that one looks like that's a hard one to hit. This grappler should be pretty easy to hit. Just going to reload a little bit. I usually like to keep the pneumatic bolt driver loaded. It can hold 8 out of 8, so it's not got a large ammo capacity, so you do need to reload it quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get the katana out to finish this zombie off. I'm just double checking that I don't have my backpack equipped, because that does make you a lot less accurate with melee weapons. That was an absolute ton of damage there. So in this game, zombies do come back to life if you don't butcher them or smash them. So Carlo's probably gonna start smashing some of the corpses. I'm gonna do the same. Looks like he actually already smashed that one. But he's actually smashing the corrosive zombie, which is getting acid everywhere, so I don't want to get too close to that. But I do want to smash the zombies around. Oop, looks like a spider came out of nowhere. I'm gonna actually just butcher that spider. No, actually, never mind. I'm not going to. I'm getting attacked by another spider. Let's continue butchering that. So there's a lot of cooking that you can do in this game. I'm just gonna take some meat just to show you some of the cooking. Let's see. Looks like Carlo has pulped these zombies. Nothing really necessary to pick up. I do want to pick up my rounds of ammo though, so I'm going to use the advanced inventory menu. Right now it's saying welders, so it's looking for things with welding in it. If I get rid of that, it should see everything around me. So I'm going to pick up my ammo belts, because you can reuse those. You can actually reuse a lot of things in this game. I'm in Carlo's seat, so he's not going to be happy about that. So I'm going to close these doors for the Hummer, which, you know, this actually didn't have like doors like this. These walls here, I believe, were open, or you could see through them, but I replaced them so that basically if I'm standing in the middle here, and if I close the blinds on these windows, nothing can see me on the inside, which is kind of nice. So this vehicle is amazing because it has like everything that you need. It's got food, it's got medical supplies, it's got that laser turret on it. It also has, if I look at its controls, it's got a lot of cool things on here. It's got a recharger for things that have UPS rechargers on them. I've got a ton of things in this car that do. I've also got cameras, so I can have those blinds shut and I can actually see outside. So if I turn on my headlights, I'm not actually looking out a window. So if I open this up, then I'm looking out the window. But if I close it, with the camera I can still see out, but things can't see and see me. And I'm going to turn off my headlights, because that's going to waste my battery power. Now I'm going to stop driving because I actually started driving the car there for a second. In this car I've got a ton of stuff with UPS chargers in it. I've got a chemistry set for doing some chemistry. I've got an electric chainsaw if I needed it. I really was just kind of playing around to see if you could use that as a melee weapon effectively, but the katana is actually much better. I've got a fire starter. I've got an electric forge if I wanted to do some forging. Got a jackhammer to break down walls, and you can actually, if there's like a basement, you can go down into that basement using the jackhammer. Or if there's like a bank and there's like a safe that's sealed, a lot of times banks have like some of the best loot in this game, you can use that jackhammer. I have an electric lantern. I don't really need it anymore because I actually have some nuclear night lamps. I think I actually have a lamp that's nuclear that gives you as much light as you need, and it doesn't take any charge, it just goes for forever. But this electric lantern was what I was using before that to like read books at night. It's pretty good to have because there's a lot of skills and recipes that you can get from books. There's an electro hack for hacking doors and computers. Something to repair my gun if it gets damaged or just from wear and tear. I've got a food dehydrator, which is pretty nice as well because you can, like the spider that I just butchered, I can dehydrate the meat, or I can cook with the fresh meat. got a Geiger counter. You don't really need to use that very often, but there's a couple places in the world where there's some radiation, and you want to be kind of careful with that because it'll give you a bunch of random mutations. I also have a handheld gaming system, so a lot of the times in this game when before I craft anything, I'll have my character play a game, listen to some music, maybe read a book, have a nice meal, and then they're like in a really good mood and they can do a lot of good stuff with crafting. I've got a noise emitter. If you're trying to get the zombies to go away somewhere, you can throw that, and my character does have some cybernetic implants that make him super strong, so you can throw that pretty far. And I also have a vacuum sealer, which is also good for preserving some food. Let's see, in this vehicle, I just have like an absurd amount of stuff. Like if I look at my SCAR, the ammo that I use for that, if I type this in, you can see that I've got over 900 bullets that I've made for that. And looks like about 100-ish that I've found. Well, actually no, this is gonna work, but these are not actually the right type of ammo type. I just realized that my character's been breathing deeply because they're what was that? We got company because of that gun that I was firing earlier. It looks like that's clear. It looks like there's nothing else around this, but I want Carlo to get close to that so he starts pulping that because he's in power armor, he doesn't get hurt by the acid. Oh. I hate these guys. There's a zombie up to my upper left that's a shambler. They get too close to an item, they'll actually absorb it and they get a lot of health. If they just roam around for forever, they can actually take like over 30 pneumatic bolts to take down. It's pretty annoying. But I'm betting because I haven't gotten to this part of the map very much, I bet this is a pretty new one, so I'm gonna see if I can take them out with the katana. Yeah, I can't see them because these guys are hard to see at night, but you can see the slime that they're leaving behind. Yep, this is a shambler. Let's see. Yeah, they haven't gotten far. Pretty easy to take out if they haven't got much health, but trust me, when they've absorbed like 100 different items, they're a pain. If I do have a strategy for dealing with them, you can get them caught in a bear trap and then they can't do much damage to you. It looks like Carlo's a little bit confused by the slime. The NPC AI has a little hard time pathfinding over this slime because they try and walk around it, but they kind of get stuck. I'm a little bit nervous about spending the night here because firing that gun at that thing, there'll be more zombies coming this way, so we should probably move the car. Before we do that, I'm curious to see, did they do any damage? No, it looks like they didn't really do any damage to the car. So I'm going to turn on my headlights. And let's drive out of here. I usually don't like driving at night because it's pretty limited visibility in this game. But I know that I came from this way, so, and when I came through there was like nothing. I do also want to show you the base that I have in this with this character because it's pretty extensive. I've got a base at this cathedral with a few NPCs, and I've got a base up here at this prison up to the upper right. It's got a ton of NPCs. That's actually where this character, Jesus, spawned, and it's kind of like my main base, and then the cathedral's like a little backup base. You don't really need it once you've cleared out the area of zombies, but I made it for role-playing purposes because this game's pretty awesome for role-playing. I'm just gonna go a little bit off-road. A little bit. This car does do pretty well off-road because it's a Hummer or a Humvee, and it's got some big tires which do pretty well on the off-road. You can see it can be kind of hard navigating at night with the vehicle. That's why I recommend driving during the day. Actually, I believe I also have, yeah, I've got aisle lights. Well, I've got one on the back there, but that's not going to really help, so I'll just turn that off. So this whole city I've cleared out, and I actually used something called a fusion blaster to break some cars down. The fusion blaster is kind of a dangerous weapon. You want to be careful with it because it shoots giant plasma balls, which if you're too close can hurt you pretty bad. So I usually only use that at the beginning of clearing out a city if it's like an area that I haven't really been to before, and I'll set up some bear traps and use the fusion blaster on the first few zombies that come my way, and then once that's taken care of most of them, then I'll usually use the katana or the pneumatic bolt rifle to take care of the rest. But here's my cathedral base. So I'll turn off my headlights and stop driving that car. I'm gonna actually turn off the cameras as well on it and stop driving. I'm gonna plug it up to this this truck. I put a ton of solar panels on top. A lot of them are the upgraded ones. I think I've also got a Quantum, which is one you can't craft but you can only find. I'll connect the batteries of the two cars so that one is charging the other. So currently the Hummer's got about 82 charge, probably will charge all the way up. So this is my cathedral base. The entire thing has bear traps going all the way around it. It's got a lot of crops for making V8, as well as a few other things that I just grew just to see what I could make with these different seeds. So this is the cathedral, and inside here I have some NPCs that I've brought over here. There's some dogs that I have as well that I've got to be like little guard dogs. So we've got Doug and Vito Serrano, and they also have a mini nuke little radio that I gave them just to, they can't actually radio you, but I like to give them that just to roleplay and say, hey, we're talking, like the different bases are talking. And they have a little saxophone. Oh, I completely forgot to show you my character's best item. They have a harmonica. So I can play the harmonica, and while I'm playing the harmonica I can kill zombies or craft or do whatever. And so actually having this character have this harmonica in game inspired me to actually buy a harmonica in real life. I'm not very good, but I think the character in the game is pretty good by now because they've been doing it for a couple of years during the apocalypse. So my character is actually pretty thirsty and hungry right now, so I'm gonna finish off this V8. Oh, actually, it says I can't finish off the V8. I can have some tea. And I want to also show you the prison, but for now I'm gonna just have the character go to sleep. So I'm gonna tell Carlo to just wait guard here, because for some reason the game performs a lot slower when they're awake when you're asleep. It takes a lot longer to go past time, so I'm gonna just go ahead and sleep. Looks like I need to turn off my MP3 player. And I should probably also fill up my quiver, so I'm gonna just do that before I forget. And go to sleep. And you can see my character stopped playing the harmonica while he went to sleep. That's one of the few things that you can't do and play the harmonica in this game. So this morning, yep, I can have some V8 and a little bit of tea. A little bit more tea just to make sure that my thirst is fully slaked. So I've got the Humvee is back on. I've got the cameras going. Let's see what charge it's at now. Well, it's actually only at 83. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and drive off. I'll just drive over some of the crops a little bit. And Carlo, no, don't guard that spot, stay with me. Let's go. He almost jumped out of the car while I was moving it. Again, the NPCs are not very smart in this game, but Carlo's pretty nice to have when you're trying to deal with zombies, because of his power armor, he's pretty much invincible for most of the zombies, unless you're going up against like a zombie Hulk, which can throw you like 20 tiles, or zombie tank, which is even worse than a zombie Hulk. But for most zombies, they can't really hurt him. Zombie brutes can knock him a few tiles away, but it doesn't do very much damage to him. Let's go a little bit faster. I was only going 40 miles per hour, but it's the apocalypse. I can go as fast as I want. Just don't want to hit anything. I'm actually gonna turn my laser rifle back on. Let's see. Targeting mode, I think what it was. Yeah, let's go back to auto. Shot that guy. You can see some of these patches on the ground here are fungal beds. Fungus is a very real concern in this apocalypse. There aren't just zombies. Lore in this game is pretty crazy. Basically, there's this... Spoilers if... ahead. Basically, there's this gray goo that's... turns most people into zombies, but also like interacts with their DNA, and that's where most of the mutations come from. And the game was like the military and the government experimenting with this goo, and then it also just naturally interacts with like fungus and plants and ants, and they've just turned into like all these giant monsters. So let's see, I'm gonna actually go even faster. Let's go up to 90 because I know this road is clear for most places. A couple occasional zombies. But there should be no vehicles. You're hearing a lot of me pressing the 5 button because that's me waiting, but while I'm driving, waiting basically is just passing a turn in the driver's seat. You can see a lot of items from the zombies that have been killed. their bodies will break down, but their shoes and whatnot will stay. I think I'm like in year 4 or 5 in this game, so most things have decayed pretty well from the first few months. So this is where I spawned originally in the game. I'm just gonna turn the Humvee around, back it up to this little charging station. Looks like since I updated the game, there's a few zombies actually roaming around here. I actually haven't seen more than 1 or 2 in this area for quite a long time in this game. Let's go ahead and hook that up. I also want to turn off the cameras. So I think that's everything off by the looks of it. Got a few turrets. To be honest, they're just really to distract zombies. I haven't got any bullets in them. But I've got my motorcycle, which is from the early game, but it's like a little backup vehicle if I need it. I've got a few crops growing in the front here from when this was my only base. This is my first NPC that I found, Wintar, who's also heavily genetically modified. He's like me, he's a rat mutant. But I prefer having Carlo come along because he can wear power armor. My character himself can't actually use power armor because of his tail and other mutated anatomy, but Carlo doesn't have that problem. I actually replaced the front doors on the prison with metal doors because zombies can't break those down. I've got a few dogs, quite a few dogs, and my other NPC that I found pretty early on, Travis, who is also in power armor. I don't think he's got any mutations. I've also got this guy I found pretty recently, Eddie Ricks. And my character does live kind of like a slob, just I've got a ton of stuff in this room just on the floor, but basically this is my crafting room where I make my bullets and my food. Yeah, I probably should be a little bit cleaner about that. having gunpowder and explosives and food, not always a good combo. Then I have a couple characters in here. I've got Antonia Snyder and Tasha Proctor as well. And then I've got just a little courtyard back here, which just has some little items that I thought were kind of cool that I found in the world, like some dental grills and another harmonica and some gold and an old Colt pistol from 1861. It's not very good. It won't kill a zombie, but it's kind of cool, that kind of stuff that you find in the world. Some diamonds. And then I tore down this wall and put a little metal door in the back, just as like a little emergency escape. And back here I've got another vehicle. It's like my emergency backup vehicle. It's got some solar panels, quite a few seats for me and the NPCs to get out of here if we need it. And this is a SWAT truck, which is in very good condition. But it only has a gas engine. It doesn't have like a electric engine, but it does have like a filter that collects water, and it's a pretty good vehicle if I needed to use that. If for some reason this place became overrun, I just wanted to have like a vehicle to escape from the south if I needed to, but again, you don't really need to once you've cleared out the area. There's like no zombies on the overmap near here, so this is, for all intents and purposes, a safe place. Yeah, that is just about it for what I've cleared out. I've cleared out quite a few of these cities around here, but that's not really worth showing off. It's just a bunch of junk from the zombies that I've taken out and some labs and a couple other things down south around here. Giant river. So if I really needed water, I could get water from that river, but I've got more than enough in the Humvee alone, let alone I've got some rain collectors at both my bases. But yeah, this is my main character that I've been playing for a long time, but the next episode I'll start a new character and I'll show you a little bit more with that. And I'll go over controls and stuff.